Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Louis Lee. Resilience has left the building, or at least the space station. The SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule Resilience, carrying 4 astronauts back to Earth, departed the International Space Station just a little while ago and will be making its way back into the atmosphere before dawn. This will be the first nighttime splashdown of a crewed capsule since 1968, when Jim Lovell and company did it in the Pacific Ocean at the end of Apollo 8's mission to orbit the moon. SpaceX has done a cargo capsule splashdown at night before, so they have experience. But the real question is, why this time? Well, speculation is that when docking the space station, pilot Mike Hopkins scratched the finish on Resilience, leaving a nasty-looking mark. And the nighttime splashdown is SpaceX's version of the Walk of Shame. That's the news. Let's start the show. Anytime now.
Joe can't find the buttons.
Joe died.
I think
Hold on.
dead.
Oh.
Look at this. Look at him.
Also, they figured that at nighttime the Trumpsters that were boating around the area wouldn't be able to find it. So,
Joe, either wake up or we're going to call the ambulance.
Sorry, guys.
I have 911 on speed dial, dude.
Oh, I just laid my head back and drifted off to. Dan, your music is too smoothing. I'll just tell you.
You ain't even heard the new ones yet. Good God.
Oh, boy.
Is it better than watching paint dry? I doubt it.
Hey, the original concept was, this will put you to sleep.
I'm working on a new album myself, and I'm doing the weirdest thing I could possibly do. And it's great. It's a great concept for an album.
That worries me because I know you.
I'm trying to do an album, and every song on the album, I'm only going to be using. Well, the way I'm going to do this is, I'm only using MIDI.
That can be good.
That's it. It's going to be MIDI. The whole album is going to be MIDI, right? And then you can actually download the MIDI tracks themselves. You can listen to it. Just listen to it.
You want to borrow my Commodore computer so you can do MIDI music?
No, you can do MIDI on anything post 1985.
1930?
John.
No, they didn't have it in 1930. Otherwise, we'd have Phantom of the Paradise with the MIDI soundtrack that you could plug in.
We could have a techno version of Wizard of Oz.
John, MIDI, here's the thing. Here's the thing. MIDI, you're talking about a Commodore computer. And yes, there were some MIDI applications with Commodore computer that was a thing at one point. Yeah. But you're actually thinking about the SID chip, and that's chiptune. That's a totally different beast.
But they had a MIDI card in
You
the
could
Commodore
get-
computers.
You could get a MIDI card in
Yeah.
Commodore computers. You could get a MIDI card in Commodore computers, but nobody.
MIDI is just a controller language. It doesn't have
Yeah.
anything to do with the actual synthesizers it's being produced by.
And
Right.
and if you want to be very specific about which ones that I'm using Roland Sound Canvas.
Now, Roland is a very good synthesizer.
And this is all
Roland, Moog, or Yamaha. That's your choices.
this is and so the
Hey.
idea
Moog.
behind this album is you listen to it, it's gonna be all Roland Sound Canvas when you listen to the album by itself.
And I'm offended.
If
John's
you-
never heard of Korg.
If you download
Korg, that's another good one. I
Yeah.
forgot about
if
that.
you download the actual MIDI files when I get done with this, which I'm wondering how well this is going to work because I'm trying to do weird stuff with it. I'm trying to do things that you're not supposed to do. I'm gonna put it that way. Like for example, I'm using the distorted patch 31 distorted guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm using it as like a Badalamenti, almost like a Badalamenti string, like synthesizer string section
That
to
would
get that
be
real
awesome.
deep.
You get that to work, that would be awesome. Now, even back in the '90s, you could use MIDI to do what was it, 128 part harmony, or was it 64?
Technically,
It's so
Date again?
long.
What was the date again?
technically,
About 1997, 1998.
technically, the polyphony is unlimited. It depends on the hardware.
Yeah.
That's the important part, is the hardware that you're working with. Nowadays, anything that can play MIDI back can do just about infinite polyphony. In fact, you see it with if y'all don't know what Dan might know what this is, a black MIDI. Have you guys heard about black MIDI?
I'm not familiar with the
Okay.
term, but
All right, imagine for a moment that you have a blank canvas, right? And on that blank canvas, you have a roll, you have piano roll, right? So you have your staff and you have your lines, and this is where you put your notes, right? And you put in your notes, you put in, an A here, and then you're going to put in an A sharp, and then you're going to do like a D, and you're going to make your melody right there, right?
yeah.
They call it a black MIDI because if you were to put it in a piano roll, it would look like somebody just took a big black marker and went.
Oh,
It's like thousands of notes in like every bar, and the songs are at like 600 beats per minute. But when they play back, they don't sound like that because the notes are playing in such volumes that they morph together to create an all new sound, and it's pretty cool. I'm not doing anything like that, although I could. And they're really cool when they do these black MIDIs. If you watch, you can watch them on YouTube with them playing back through like Sensatia and stuff like that. And they make like patterns, like one of the because you have 16 channels in MIDI that you can play notes through. So rather than channel 10 is the only one that is percussion only. So it basically means you have 15 channels of notes. And you play these files they're just piano. It's always just piano for some reason. But you see the notes, they're like crisscrossing and they're doing patterns. Like there's one that is like the classic, like the Russian folk music, from like Tetris, right? And as the song is playing, the notes are coming down in the form of Tetris blocks, but it's not discordant at all. I mean, it's a little bit discordant, but it's not. You're listening to it and you're going, yeah, this sounds just like what it would actually sound like. This wall of noise almost, and it's incredible how it works. And the same technology has been used to do a couple of other really interesting things. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel of the song "Rap God" by Eminem, right? And I have the song as a MIDI file, and I made a stupid little music video to go with it. It's the actual song as a MIDI file, but the vocals are included in the MIDI file because you can use, there are certain programs you can use to convert noise into MIDI, right? And it's the filthiest thing, but if you use the tools correctly, you can do cool stuff like that where you listen to the MIDI file, you can actually hear the lyrics. It actually sounds like speech.
Yeah.
It's really neat. So there's that, like I said, there's an actual, and it was funny. We were talking about copyright stuff previously, right? I actually fought them on that. I said, there is nothing that I'm playing in this video, right? This is a derivative work, but all of the sounds, none of the sounds are copyright because they're all Roland Sound Canvas. Even Eminem's voice, yes, that's technically Eminem's voice, but it's playing through a MIDI file that you can actually download. So that was my first experiment with that, and I'm actually going to be using it on the album too, because I had an idea. I was like, what if you did? That's the thing. I'm going to do vocals on an album made entirely with MIDI files that you can download.
Sounds interesting. Dan, what were you doing earlier today? You were talking about that earlier before we went on air.
I just tonight composed the first 2 tracks off of my next album, which was a surprise to me because I wasn't planning on working on it yet.
Inspiration hit, huh?
Well,
How it happens.
It's yesterday was Larry Niven's birthday. First Saturday of every month is the Larry Niven mailing list IRC chat. And believe it or not, they talked about doing something like us for Larry Niven stuff. I'm going, well, I know how to do that. Just let me know if you want to do it. But with 50 to 100 members in the chat, I don't believe we could accommodate it on StreamYard. That might have to be a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, those are Zoom calls.
Yeah.
I had a great little time today. I actually went to my first convention in a year and 2 months now. Metrotham Con in Chattanooga. Had some great vendors down there. Cool stuff. Of course, my favorite little booth was the one that sold the $14 stainless steel mug with free refills all weekend. I bought it yesterday.
Not bad.
So I was drinking root beer and grape soda and orange soda. And
I hope you rinsed the cup in between.
Oh, I did.
So some of those mixtures would be lethal.
Well, the funny part was I'd go rinse my cup and then I'd walk around out in the carpet area with my cup upside down.
Okay, I'll bite. This was funny before. Why?
That way I didn't drop water on that concrete floor and create a slip hazard. It landed on the carpet. Because I wasn't about to use them paper towels and run around in my drinking cup.
Okay, you are unduly paranoid, my friend. If you're scared of germs on paper towels, run 2 or 3 through the machine and tear them off and throw them away before you get the one you're going to wipe your cup with. It's like reaching down into the loaf of bread past the first 2 slices to get the good bread.
Well, what's wrong with that?
That's just smart.
And then I save the 2 end pieces, throw them in the freezer, and when I have Spam burgers, I thaw out the end pieces, and we have Spam burgers on buns.
Yeah. And here we get
That
an
is
insight.
straight out of the Depression, man.
Here we get an insight into Joe's cheapness that spam bread heels desirable. This is an equation that does not balance in algebra, let me tell you.
Bread heels after having been frozen.
Yeah.
I'd rather order a fried bologna sandwich at a disreputable truck stop.
Those are the best
nothing
Well, I
wrong with
don't know
those
of any
either.
reputable ones.
Oh, I know a couple of reputable ones. There's a really good one up in.
A reputable truck stop wouldn't know how to make a fried bologna sandwich.
Exactly.
Well, they could look it up on the internet.
Speaking of which, though, have any of you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
No.
Never
No.
heard of it.
No, I've heard of
They're
them. Never been.
mostly in Texas, but they're branching out. There is one outside of Birmingham right now, and they're building one in Calhoun, Georgia. And
Okay.
this is a convenience store gas station that should have its own zip code. The one in Birmingham has more than 60 gas pumps. More than 60 gas pumps. Okay? Has 6 entrances into the building. It's so big. It's like a small Walmart. They sell furniture, knickknacks, stuff like that, but mostly it's the food you go in there for. They've got a deli that makes awesome sandwiches. They have pulled pork, brisket, all kinds of that stuff. They've got a wall that's at least 30, 40 feet long, nothing but jerky, different flavors of jerky. Okay? They have a wall of icy machines, 24 different flavors simultaneously. You don't have to pick one of 3. 24 flavors available all the time.
So this is the
And when's
Disney
this one
World
in
of truck
Calhoun going to
stops,
open
right?
up?
Yeah. But it's not a truck stop. They have no truck fill-ups, where they've got the double diesels.
Mm-hmm.
18-wheelers are not allowed there. It's just for cars, campers, and that.
Okay.
I stopped at the one in Birmingham on the way back from New Orleans a couple of weeks ago, and a friend of mine who had just come back from the Grand Canyon had told me about this place, so we looked it up to find out if there were any east of Louisiana, and sure enough, there was that one in Birmingham. I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but I mean, the place is freaking enormous. Whoops. That's the wall of jerky.
Any flavor you'd want, right?
Just about. There's some of the knickknacks and furnishings and stuff. And there's the wall of ices, man.
For teriyaki and pineapple jerky.
There's 6 flavors on each of these stations.
Oh.
I mean, my kids used to like to mix their ices. They were nuts on this one, man.
Yeah, there's Chris Walker. Chris was down there at the convention. Chris will tell you it was a great little show. Vendors had some great stuff. Had some cool stars. Have y'all seen the Star Trek Continues?
Mm-mm.
Some of them, not all of them.
Vic Morega, the Captain Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
He was there.
All right.
I got to meet him. I walked up and said, "It's nice to meet you. My name's Joe," and all that. I said, "And I just want you to know that you're the second best Captain Kirk ever." And he goes, "Who's first?" And I said, "Well, it ain't the tree." He about fell out of the chair laughing. He goes, Thank you. He says, I don't think I could hold a candle to William Shatner, but that's an honor. Thank you for being that. I said, yeah, I discovered, Star Trek Continued years ago. I don't know how many years ago. And I ended up watching the one episode and ended up 5.5 hours later realizing, what the hell did I just watch?
Every damn episode that was ever made, probably after 5.5 hours.
No, there's 11-hour-long episodes. Evidently, they made more after I started watching.
And where do you watch this?
YouTube.
YouTube. Mm-hmm.
Star Trek Continues.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of the better fan-based reproductions, or that's probably the wrong way to talk about it, but
I mean,
Fandom.
it's not really fan based when you've got Grant Imahara in there, from Mythbusters, and then James Doohan's son was playing Scotty.
Wow.
well,
They were able to replace Grant.
non-official. How's that one?
Yeah. And then he told me that they did enough episodes to complete the 5-year mission and ended the series pretty much a year before the motion picture in the timeline.
Oh, well, that leaves room for the animated series.
Yeah.
Which is canon.
Yeah.
And having spoken of Larry Niven, he did write and allow an adaptation of one of his short stories for the animated Star Trek series.
Oh, cool. Which one?
The Slaver Weapon, which is a adaptation of his story, The Soft Weapon.
Oh, okay.
You should
which
look.
brought the Kazenti into Star Wars.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Which paved the way basically for most of the live action feline characters that weren't based on the communications officer Maurice.
Yeah,
the Cations. Yes, that kind of lined up in the animated stuff.
I had the paperback novels of those
when I was a kid.
Paperback novels of the Star Trek animated series.
All of the animated series were in paperback paperback novels. There's like
they call those comic books.
No, they
were.
But they had 4 episodes in each book. So you had volume 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
It only went on for one series, and I don't remember how many episodes they had, but it was a complete season. So
Hanna-Barbera.
It may have been 26 different cartoons. I'm not sure.
Oh, hang on a minute. I can tell you for certain. IMDb, brother. Let's see.
Mr. Google strikes again. Yeah.
The Google foo. Yeah, Chris Walker says Star Trek Continues is really good. Has a son of James Doohan, who is Chris Doohan. Bill Sartain says he's friends with Chris. The lovely Michelle Spate, Gigi Edgley, and John Delancey was in it.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I just wondered if he played
Q
undercover.
Knowing Delancey, he's talented enough to pull off about 5 different characters in the same episode.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know,
good.
The animated series lasted 2 seasons.
Oh, 2 seasons.
From 1973 to 1974. And let me see. I was trying to see if it says 22 episodes.
Between the two.
Right.
Or, oh, hell, too bad it wasn't 22 each.
Actually, it looks more like they had a season and a half, if that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
the legend of the traveling TARDIS, the great Christian Basil says it's past his bedtime, Joe Dog. And then laughing, well, Christian, con season is coming back, so you need to start conditioning yourself to stay late.
Yep. And you missed Thessaly saying hello to us.
Yeah. And John B. Pica, who was down at Matrotham Con, having a great time. He'd set up probably a 30-foot Hot Wheels track, 40-foot Hot Wheels track, and was racing Hot Wheels cars.
Wow.
In his Harley Quinn Suicide Squad crossplay.
He was talking about that last night in the green room.
He did it.
I think he was actually on the road about to get there or traveling there.
The Star Trek photo novels from the 70s. I don't remember seeing those, Bill. Sorry.
That's one of those things you probably have to talk to Brian K. Morris about, Bill, because he knows more about comic books than all of us four put together.
I absolutely understand, Christian. He said he visited Spooky Empire, I guess, which was last few weeks ago. He said they were $55 to get in, so he enjoyed the company, everyone outside the con. So he was being spooky at SpookyCon.
Mm-hmm.
Which, Lewis, that is a term when you go to a convention but you don't play. It's called ghosting a con.
Yeah, you hang out in the parking lot. Well, you might actually get close enough to the hotel to be in the smoking area, but you can't get in because you ain't got a badge.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a message from John pop up. Let me see. Oh my goodness.
Oh, what have we got now?
What have we got now? Come on. I got to do the download, then the upload. Give me just a minute. Oh, I love EPB so much. Already downloaded the picture, and I am now sending it to StreamYard. As fast as StreamYard can take it. Here we go. This is John B. Pica as Harley Quinn. Went all out with the fishnet stockings and everything.
Now,
I thought that was hair.
No.
Oh. Skunk, has there been a death in the family?
No, we just got a picture of John B. Pica in fishnet stockings.
No, he's not in his studio, so I think his computer died.
Again, yeah, and I thought I fixed the problem. I'm beginning to. I can't figure it out. I fixed the GPU overheating, or the CPU overheating. I fixed that, and then it just kicked off again. So it has to be the GPU, which I can't fix. I can't fix the GPU because the way that graphics cards are designed, I'm just gonna have to end up buying a whole new fucking card or a whole new computer. I don't have the money for this crap.
John Pica said he was the fan favorite in the cosplay contest.
I'll bet.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Christian Basil says he feels dirty now.
Now, John Pica, how many people asked you if you were going to do the time warp again later?
Wrong movie, Dan. That's Rocky Horror.
Yes, I know, but it's a convention. People cross genres. I was thinking maybe somebody didn't understand and just went on the fishnets.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you this way, Dan. I felt like the 80-year-old man walking around the crowd.
That's my job.
I think I was like the fourth oldest person there.
Now you know how I felt at the Adamant concert back in the 90s. I was the oldest person in the theater that wasn't on stage.
Oh, but Metrotham Con was a great little show. I enjoyed it. I'm going back tomorrow to get I'll give a closing review.
I'll be glad when the Aleve kick in. My arthritis is really hurting tonight.
John says nobody asked him about that, but it may be his new thing.
Going to cross over. Oh, don't cross the streams, John. Don't cross the streams. Then again, that might be a good idea.
And he says one girl said he was the best Harley Quinn she'd ever seen.
Okay. I'll accept that as face value.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Understand.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, Bill is a wealth of information that a lot of people have forgotten back in the day. So.
Oh, yeah.
He remembers all this stuff. I mean, have you ever seen his cartoon shows on his
Saturday
channel?
mornings? Yeah.
Yeah. He did some deep dives into the archives for that stuff, and it's all good.
Yeah, I saw some of the old commercials of stuff that I wished I could have had back then.
Oh, what? Now, I always loved the Major Matt Mason toys, but there was something where you actually got a life-size space helmet and vest and whatnot that you could wear back during the Apollo days. And I can't remember for the life of me what company that was or who was promoting it or whatever.
Did you see the picture that Bill Sartain posted the other day of the creepy crawlers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you see my comment? Do I remember creepy crawlers? I've still got the burn scars on my hands.
I actually had one of those. It wasn't the creepy crawlers, but it was the part of the name was Time Machine. You had the things with memory plastic. You would heat them up and they would unfold and come out. Yeah, and then once you got them hot enough, you could put them in a vise, basically, that was built in the machine, and compress them back to a little wafer.
My dad was a pro bass fisherman for a while,
mm-hmm.
and he used to have this machine where you take all your old fishing worms, little rubber worms, and you would cast them, and inevitably they'd break. You put the hook through them enough, they'd break. Fish hit it, they'd break. So you'd have all these little chunks of fishing worm laying around in your tackle box.
Mm-hmm.
You could take them, melt them down, and pour them into a mold and make new fishing worms. He had the adult version of creepy crawlers.
Hey, anything.
I had a Susie Homemaker oven.
The what?
I had a Susie Homemaker oven.
Oh, okay.
It was like the Easy Bake Oven, except it wasn't that fake slide it through. Yeah. It was actually a stand-up oven that you would open the front door and put the batter in and close it and turn it on. And it had a safety timer to where if it was still hot inside, it wouldn't open. But it worked on a 100-watt light bulb, and it would bake a cake.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
See, my mom got me started on my cooking trend.
Do you remember Pizza Hut had a pizza version of that?
I don't remember that.
They had, it was just like the Easy Bake Oven basically, but it had the door in the front. You'd make your pizza, put all the toppings on it, stick it in there, close the door, and it wouldn't let you open the door if it said it was too hot.
It was probably the same thing, just in different colors, rebranded.
Yeah,
probably.
I would like to address Christian's last remark. Susie still has the restraining order against you, Christian.
Oh, John Pica said he had so much fun. He never been hit on by so many girls at a con, and he wished he had planned to stay overnight.
Hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't have posted that.
Why? He was being responsible.
Well, today was my wife's birthday, and I didn't throw any surprises on her other than something that arrived in the mail perfectly timed.
Yeah, perfectly timed. That's the important part. You were stressed about that the other day.
Yeah.
Would it show up?
Yeah. Well, it showed up just on time. And I've been telling her for a week, I can't afford to get you nothing for your birthday. She said, when you said it the second time, I knew you'd done something, and I was just waiting for it to show up.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where breakfast in bed should not consist of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh, the Thing Maker. Yes,
Thing
I
Maker,
remember
that was it. Yeah. Wow. That's enterprising.
They actually had a version of that the gel that you put in it was edible if you like the taste of plastic.
Yeah.
Well,
That
I was
creepy crawly machine or something like that.
I was enterprising in high school when dipping skull was the big thing back in the 80s. I was able to buy the roll of skull from the tobacco vendor at the gas station I worked at, and it still had the same day. You know, the date of manufacture was the day I bought it. So the next day at school, I was selling day-old skull. Nobody else could get skull that wasn't a week old.
I would have been tempted to replace that with potting soil or something. Nobody'd ever be able to tell.
Left over after you buy fishing worms.
No, that would have been cruel.
My oldest brother got suspended from first grade because he was selling penny candies for a nickel to the other students. And my dad went to the school and said, you suspended him for being a businessman?
Shrinky Dink. Oh, Lord, yes, Shrinky Dinks. Oh, my God. That's a blast from the past right there. I think some of my kids are still doing that stuff for fun.
The Snoopy snow cone machine. Oh, I love those.
Oh, I remember that. I didn't ever have one, but I remember that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, a little rum and coconut flavor in the Snoopy snow cone machine, you got something going there.
Well, as long as you remember your Zappa.
Had to go and find it, didn't you, John?
Yeah. That's what I do.
John's looking up yellow snow?
No, the Pizza Hut oven.
Oh.
Oh, is that? Oh,
no, I don't remember that.
Let me drag John around to the other side here so I can. Oh, okay. See, for me, I was seeing the live that we've been live for 40 minutes now, and all the people in the room. And I want to thank Bill Sartain and John Scarborough for liking this show. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, give us a like because it helps us with that Al Gore rhythm thing. I didn't know he could dance, but we'll go for it.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and subscribe.
Yeah. And ring that bell. Whatever.
Yeah, really. That way you get to know whenever this idiocy goes on screen again.
Guys, do you know we've done between Stupid O'Clock, my little live shows, and Armchair Rocket Science over 1,500 hours of live in the past year?
And that's 1,500 hours you will never get back, my friend.
I know.
1,200 of those are armchair rocket science.
Just waiting on things to blow up at
waiting for the
launch.
abort. Yeah.
Hey, somebody got a green screen working.
All right, maybe he's back.
He's sort of back. He looks like Max Headroom.
Oh, he'll put that background on if you want.
I could actually with this computer. So I switched. I have the laptop in my room now,
Ah,
so I can use the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't
The
have a
screen
background.
screen.
It's just whatever. I only have the two options it comes with right now.
Oh yeah, you'd have to upload some stuff. Yeah. You can find interesting stuff all over. I mean,
Be surprised what you can find as a background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Easy Bake Dunkin' Donuts.
You can find these in pretty much every police station in the United States.
I don't believe I
That
would have
is
went
John
there, John.
Scarborough, Ringgold, Georgia. John Scarborough, Ringgold, Georgia.
License plate number BR549.
No, that's his phone number.
No, my phone number is 867-5309.
Jenny.
Ask for Jenny.
Yeah.
Well,
And
believe it or not,
Your wife comes in and slaps you.
when that song came out here in town, this is before your time here, Lewis. That was the phone number to the Rossville Middle School.
Oh, wow.
And back then, of course, the area code in East Tennessee was 615. Back then.
Yeah. Now,
And
I
Atlanta's
got here
area-
when it was still 615 here.
They moved the 615 area code up to Nashville, but I think they've still got a couple that are stuck here. But that are also in Nashville.
We used to have the 404 area code, but they split that off and gave it to the Atlanta area only.
Now, see, if you were to open a massage parlor and call it Jenny's Massage Parlor, that would be the phone number you'd want.
Oh, yeah. And do you know the phone company has now, what do they call it? Retired the phone number across all area codes.
Oh,
Now that's a sign of a successful song.
Yep.
yes.
Nashville is now 615.
If you can make the national the phone company change how they do business,
you've done something.
You've made your mark.
Well, apparently, I think it is British Telecom. The telephone number that flashes up on the screen for a Doctor Who episode is now registered to Doctor Who, and it gives you a recording. I think it's of David Tennant saying, "I can't come to the phone right now."
He was my favorite Doctor.
Of course, he does live in a police call box. That is a telephone booth for all.
Yeah, well.
I got nothing.
I think they use it during promotions. You can they actually tell you to call the number, and it'll tell you something special about new stuff coming up. But you have to wait for them to do a promotion.
Strangely enough, when I was a kid, we had American National Bank time.
Yeah.
Which I believe, if I remember the number correctly, it's 265-1411.
Yeah.
You can still call it today. You could call it right now. It'll give you time and weather, but it's not American National Bank time. I'm not sure.
It's SunTrust.
Is it? No, I think it's not even them anymore.
Truist.
Something. Anybody got their phone handy?
Technically, yeah.
That I'm going to call to find out what damn time it is.
I did want to point out that there
What's
was
the number again?
423-265-1411.
Now, some cranky old lady gets on here.
I can't guarantee otherwise.
Today is Saturday, May 1st. SunTrust, now Truist. Time, 11:46. Current temperature, 63 degrees. Sunny today, highs mid to upper 70s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the low 50s. Sunday, mostly cloudy, 20% chance of an afternoon shower. Highs mid to upper 70s. The weather phone is another community service of SunTrust, now Truist. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
All right.
I used
There
to
was
call that.
Good memory, John.
I used to
It's
call that
And I'm
every
sunny
glad
morning
some cranky old lady
Share
didn't
tomorrow.
answer.
when I was living at my grandmother's house down in East Ridge. I had to walk to school, roughly 8 blocks.
Uphill in the snow.
Uphill both
Both
ways.
ways.
in the
Some
snow.
days, yeah. No, actually, that area. I can't remember the name of the school right offhand. It had a name, but it's the one. You know where the old Kmart is, and now they got the theater and Chef Lynn's and all that over there.
Mhm.
Used to be a Kmart. It's the school that's catty corner to it. It's a church now,
Oh, really?
and I
Oh, that
cannot
was a
remember.
private
Oh,
school.
wait, across the interstate, you mean?
No, it's on the same side of the interstate as it's on the what is that, McBrien Road? Matter of fact, that might be it. It might be
McBrien Elementary.
Okay.
Give me a second. Give me a second. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, John Pica says, who would want to need the call for time and temperature anymore? Anybody
Yeah.
over the age of 65. And Lewis is saving it into his phone.
Oh, no. I was just showing you. It's on my phone.
Oh, wait, Springfield.
Time and temperature.
Wait a minute. That's not. Why am I having problems?
So
It's on my watch
I
when
did
I'm
want to
wearing
point
it.
out, Evan Doorbell has a recording where he talks about this whole entire thing, and I remember it very distinctly of the him calling a specific time number. That's what they called them. That's what the phone freaks always called them, time numbers. You would use them. They had tons of uses because it was a free phone number you could call. Sometimes it was a Watts line. Hint, hint. Right? So they were really fascinated. Phone freaks got really fascinated with those lines because oftentimes, because they used technology to tell what time it was. There wasn't always somebody just sitting there on the phone all the time. So they thought that was really cool. They had this automated service. And I remember the one day he was talking about this one time where he calls it, and it says, it was a bank, just like what we were just talking about right there. And it was Liberty Mutual, which I think they're an insurance company now, right? But this was a bank specifically, and it was like Liberty Mutual, time. It was Liberty Mutual time something or another they called it, and it was like Liberty Mutual would like to congratulate all seniors that are graduating from whatever school that was in that town, and then it would do the time 8:50 p.m. The technology's gotten a lot better.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I can't fix it because I don't have control because I'm on my laptop. So somebody make these windows bigger, please. Thank you. I don't like you seeing the corner of my wall over here.
Oh,
Hey,
Well, the green screen can only go so far.
I know, but hey, I've got an easy bake oven. What are you bitching about?
The fact that I don't want you to see my fucking wall. I just said that. Anyway.
Oh, John Pica just posted up something. Guess what was waiting for him when he got home? An Evel Knievel stunt cycle.
Ooh,
Ooh, I had one of those.
my brother had the stunt cycle. I had the dragster that turned into the funny car.
Oh, okay.
Me and my brother always had this like Christmas toy competition. Like he had Steve Austin and the Rocket Lab thing.
Yeah.
I had Oscar Goldman and Maskatron. And I would always dress Maskatron as Oscar Goldman with the exploding briefcase. Because even with the mask and the Oscar Goldman clothes, he didn't look anything like Oscar Goldman.
Dan, I just pulled out something that would get your attention. Maybe even Lewis too. I've got a charity auction item for Halicon.
Ooh.
Right.
A Johnny West action figure with hats, vest, and saddle.
Does it come with Kung Fu grip?
Johnny
This was-
West.
Yeah.
Not Johnny Quest, but Johnny West.
Yes,
I was thinking that, John. I was thinking that. Yeah.
I'm wondering how many copyrights they avoided with this particular thing.
Well, it's obviously
Johnny West was a cowboy from the mid 60s before G.I. Joe.
Ooh, if you get before G.I. Joe, you're going back past my birth.
No kidding.
Yeah, he predates G.I. Joe.
Because I had the G.I. Joe karate chop action, and I had the one with the Kung Fu grip. So
I had the ones that were 11 inches tall.
yeah.
Now,
you guys.
I had the original M16 from Mattel, which is interesting because the M16 was nicknamed the Matty Mattel because it had a plastic stock and foregrip.
You know, one of the places it got that nickname from, because the Army had never actually issued a weapon with a plastic stock before. It had to go through Material Command, which back now it's called can't remember. It's the NATEC Labs, I think it's called now, but back then it was Material Command. They tested all this stuff that was going in the military. Well, all those plastic handguards went through Material Command, so they came out with MTL as part of their serial number. So you had left MTL and right MTL, and everybody thought it said Mattel. And there you go.
There you go.
And John was asking about the Johnny Quest. No, it is a 2000 edition licensed remanufacturer. But still, it was like $80.
Well, yeah, it was licensed. Oh, damn, I can't ever get rid of this damn. One side of my beard goes pink.
Now, do you guys remember the Nutty Mads?
No.
They were like the Rat Fink.
Ratfink. Yeah, I know Ratfink.
And even if you explain it to me, I do remember, I will not admit it.
Yeah. Well, Rat Finks was the crazy hot rods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the
Nutty,
artist name? Ed Ross.
Nutty Mads was the competition version. A friend of mine is the actual now owner of the license for that.
Huh.
Because he was a big Mopar and Dodge fan.
Yeah.
Who, Nutty Mad or Mopar?
Ed Ross.
Oh,
Ratfink.
yeah. Oh, John Pike, I want to ask you, did you get any of the free refill root beers or any of that? Sample any of those? They were awesome. Yeah, you're right. They are the Holy Grails.
Yeah. For me, it would be the Man from Uncle Toys from the 60s.
No, don't show his, show mine. Show the one I posted.
How did I get in there?
See, this is why it sucks for me not having control.
Sorry. I'm trying to. Skunk Think. Yeah. Oh.
It's awesome.
That's nice.
Oh, now that is a nice collector's item. And John says, "Oh yeah, the Wild Bills are the best."
Oh my God! Now I'm trying to remember a toy that I had back in the day. There were 3 different models of robots.
His grandmother told him it was his own dingling.
It was They actually had spring-loaded arms where they could throw stuff. They were about 6 inches tall, maybe 6.5. One of them was copper, one of them silver, and another one kind of I don't know if it was gold or if it was some other metallic color, but God, can't remember the name they sold them under, but they were really detailed little toys.
I just had an insane idea.
What's that?
This is entirely normal, yes.
I just realized. I think because my laptop is more powerful than my desktop. I know that. Not for a fact.
That's why this green screen is working better.
Yeah, I don't even have to have the lamp on for it to work. Although the lamp makes it work better, I don't have to have it on. The camera in this computer is it's not as good as the other camera that I have. It doesn't matter. The point is, I think now, not 100% certain, but I think I think I can run a Jackbox game on stream and have us all play it together. I want to try that out during the after show, if it's okay with Joe.
Well, after show is going to be short because I've been up since 8 o'clock this morning and did a con. I'm an old man.
I tell you what, brother. All right, there's 4 of us, right? Because Lewis is going to go. I know Lewis is going to go.
Lewis may not make it till the end of this show.
Exactly.
Hey,
I got up at 3 o'clock
I fell asleep
and
before the show started.
And if you're going to play games, it's going to be you and John, because I'm going to go and create a green room somewhere.
Micronauts are super high in demand. I gave all mine to Erlanger Hospital's children's playroom.
Micronauts, yeah, that was a pretty neat thing. I really liked the comic book that it did after the toys came out.
Yes.
Plus
I had all those
chatting.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, Marx was good about things like that, trying to get stuff the same size so you could cross genres.
All right. So here's what I'm proposing. Right? Anybody that's in the chat can join us as well. Anybody who's watching at home would be able to join us, right? Anybody who sticks around would be able to join us, because you don't have to. You don't have to own anything. I do all the work. You just need one of these, right? Now, in John's case, I know John doesn't have a smartphone, so he can use his computer. But you just need something that can access a web browser, and you're able to play. Technically, this is a video game that you can play on the toilet. Please do not play on the toilet. But you could if you needed to. I've literally been in the middle of playing a Jackbox game and been like talking to on the microphone. I would say to everybody, I'd be like, "I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom," and then I keep playing the game even though I'm in the bathroom because I could. That's how cool Jackbox stuff is. And I was thinking, I've been wanting to try that out on StreamYard for a while.
I can't do it tonight, Skunk. Like I said, hell, I fell asleep in the intro.
He did.
And I haven't played video games for probably since you were in diapers.
Don't think of it as a normal video game. Don't think of it as like...
It's like a trivia game.
Yeah. Don't think of it like... Don't think of it like Super Mario Brothers or Asteroids. Think of it like Trivial Pursuit.
Or You Don't Know Jack.
You Don't Know Jack is actually the company.
You Don't Know Jack.
You Don't Know Jack is actually... Jackbox is actually... That's where that comes from. It's Jackbox Studios. They're the creators of You Don't Know Jack. So that's what the game series is. The Jackbox games are outside of 2 of them, generally they don't involve You Don't Know Jack, but it's the same people. So you play like Fibbage, and you still get Cookie Masterson as the host, or you play Quiplash and you get Schmitty. Both of them used to be You Don't Know Jack hosts, and they still are. In one of the later versions of You Don't Know Jack, released through the Jackbox Party Packs, you get Cookie again, and but the other games they're all party games. They're designed for you to play with your friends, and they weren't designed to be played online, but they quickly figured out they've got an audience there for being able to play online with people. So why don't you make that a thing? And so they did. So you could just play it easily over a stream. And I started thinking, I was like, with this group here, boy, would that be fun.
All right, I just remembered something. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I gotta go flip a breaker for something.
Okay.
Is that what they're calling it now?
Yeah,
I was going to say, I
just
think,
a minute.
Hey, John, I had this in green and blue.
That would be wonderful information if I knew what the hell that was.
That is the Acroyer glider figure from Micronauts.
Oh, okay. Now I know what it is.
They were about, they were the 4-inch tall little dudes.
Uh-huh. Like I said, I remember the comic books much better. I never got any of the figures.
Well, you remember Prince Acroyer then? He was like the big hero. Yeah, that was him.
Yeah. I mean, they were good comic books.
They were.
They were standard. Yeah. But
yes, I read the comic books.
Yeah. Evidently too many times.
He was one of my favorite characters.
Mm.
Then I had the Astrolab, which was the big spaceship with the lab sticking out of the top of it. And then I had they had a construction set that was these foldable panels and girder things that you could build like buildings and ships and everything like that. And I actually built their ship, the Endeavor, out of the construction set. And all my friends that played with Micronauts are like, "Where did you get the Endeavor?" I built it.
I love the way you put your hands on your hip when you laugh. Like, yes. Oh, heavens.
Hey, I used to collect these. You used to get these little Lego sets. And to give you an example, the little order form for them was on the back of Morton pot pies. Okay.
Oh, so wow. I haven't seen a Morton brand pot pie in decades.
And you'd cut and you'd send your $5 in and whatever. And you'd get the little Lego set. And I got the one I remember, there was a London bus that I got, which was a double-decker bus. And then one of them I got was a Learjet. That tells you how old this set was.
Hey.
About the time I got that, for that same Christmas, I got the girders and panels building set, where you could make skyscraper, and it actually came with instructions to how to build some of the world's famous skyscrapers, like the Sears Tower in Chicago. So I built the Sears Tower in Chicago and cut out one of the panels and crashed the Learjet into it.
Speaking of violent things that we used to do with children's toys, anybody else make butterfly knives out of erector sets?
No, but
we made all
sorts of take the little green army men and set them up in a sandbar in one of the fields on the farm, and then stick firecrackers in the sand and blow them up and photograph the entire thing.
Oh no! Let me tell you. You haven't lived till at 13 years old. You take that full on 100% made out of what it was, steel or aluminum, old school Tonka trucks, right? And then you take the dump truck and you fill the back of it with about, a cup of gasoline, set it on fire, go shooting it off of a hill. So you just see this flaming truck going.
And it
There you go.
didn't hurt the truck at all because it was
Oh, the
toned
paint.
up.
That paint
Yeah,
flaked
well.
off, but
Safety yellow paint's easy to find.
yeah,
Oh.
those were the days.
Somewhere in my collection of photographs before digital photography ever existed, there is a complete set of me and my little brother blowing up army men and model cars and stuff in the middle of a sandbar in the middle of one of the fields on the farm. And one of the things included not only a plastic model of the Voyager from the cartoon Fantastic Voyage, but a plaster of Paris version that I had hand carved, and a plaster of Paris version of the flying sub from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea that I had hand carved. Because, artistic, shit. I do that shit. Oh, well, I used to. Now I do other things like build greenhouses and work for a living. That would have been an awesome paragraph if I only had a closing statement that made sense.
Well, talking about what you're doing now, I had an idea and I'm working on it, and I've got to do some proof of concepts first. But I am going to take this canvas.
Yes.
And I'm going to paint a country scene, a couple of hills and some trees, okay?
All right.
And then in the foreground on the canvas, I am going to have a barn.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Now, I've sketched out the barn. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to lay some horizontal pieces of wood, and then I've got these little modified popsicle sticks, and I'm going to build the facade of the barn using these sticks.
On the painting.
On the painting.
Yes, that is a standard. I don't want to say practice. That the 3D effect for adding physical objects to a painting,
yes,
is an accepted art form. And
diorama?
No, it's not a diorama because it's not deep enough. It's
yeah, I mean, it's only going to be a quarter of an inch. It's only going to stick out a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to have a metal piece for the roof, and
I've done that. I've done that.
And I'm just going to paint the trunk of the trees, and then I'm going to use this stuff.
Oh yeah, to
flesh the trees out 3D.
Yeah.
And I may go out in the yard and try to find some finely grained bark and do that and make the whole tree 3D. But I don't know.
That is going to be a nice challenge. You will have fun with it, and it will look wonderful.
I think so. I'm really looking forward to trying it.
Oh, you thought of the idea. You're going to make it work.
Yeah.
I know you.
And man, I got some balsa wood while I was at the hobby shop.
How many thousands of dollars did that cost you?
$10 for a big. I mean, I got all this balsa wood for $10.
Oh, you bought the bag of balsa?
Yeah. The bag of balsa.
Yeah.
But
somewhere in Ecuador, a tree is weeping.
Oh, I got curious about balsa because I've used balsa wood since I was a kid, but never really thought about the tree that it comes from.
Yeah.
And these particular came from Ecuador. But I watched a video on them harvesting the balsa tree, and it's crazy because you got this little bitty Hispanic dude, and he walks up to this log that's on the ground, and he picks it up, tosses it on his shoulder, and walks towards the truck. I mean, it looked. If this was an oak tree, that thing would have
Weighed a
weighed
ton.
hundreds of pounds. But he
Yeah.
just, tossed it up on his shoulder and grabbed another one. He's on his way to
5
the
foot
truck.
diameter, 40 feet long, weighs 2 ounces.
Lewis,
But I
you
love
may have
balsa wood.
heard
It's so
this
fun
story.
to work with.
Yeah,
You may have heard the
Ecuador
story.
is where it's native to.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a master modeler. He makes models for movies now, or used to. And
Yeah, John, Jet Jaguar, fan. Joe, go ahead. Or John, go ahead.
anyway, in the early days, it says when he got started, you couldn't find balsa wood anywhere. Right during World War II.
Oh,
they were
it was
used-
being used on gliders.
No, it was being used for these rafts that they would attach to the side of the ship.
Oh,
And it was,
okay.
and you see them all the time. They're O-shaped, like a blocky O, like capital O, blocky, with a net hanging in between. And you see them all the time on ships. They'll have them on the sides of the turret, just strapped on. So the ship gets hit and sinks. These things automatically float. You can't. They're made out of balsa wood. You cannot sink. The only way that they could get balsa wood to make models, they would row out to the Navy yard and see these things hanging on the side of the ship. And when nobody's looking, they'd climb up on them and cut them loose from the ship and drag the raft home and cut it open for balsa wood.
Oh, wow. But they did make gliders out of balsa also.
I don't think they made them out of balsa wood, though. That seems off. Wouldn't have the
Pretty-
strength for a
Well,
glider.
I mean, it wasn't the only, but it was an aluminum frame and the skin was balsa, I believe. Might want to check that.
Yeah,
I know they use
like
European
canvas.
theater.
I would think that they had aluminum frame. The bracing members were very thin white pine,
Mhm.
and other stuff was balsa, and with a
Canvas
cloth.
covering.
Yeah, canvas. Well, that some of the canvas is too heavy, but a cloth covering, and that the cloth itself would be varnished with something to make it much stiffer. But
Well, dope,
I am
wasn't
a
it?
and a historian. So what?
It was covered with dope.
Yep.
Kind of a
Yeah.
shellac.
Yeah, like white
Because
punks.
that when I was building RC planes, it would have the canvas wing, and then you would have to paint it with the dope.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got in so
Here it
much
goes.
trouble when I told my mom that I wanted to go to the hobby shop and buy some dope for the plane.
Yeah, that'll
Oh.
get you in trouble.
My mom stopped me from building models once because she thought that the glue that was used on plastic models was the old style model glue with the methanol stuff.
The hallucinogenic effect.
Acetone.
The acetones that people were snorting
Puffing
glue.
Sniffing glue.
And it wasn't even the same type of, it wasn't even the same, anything of glue.
I remember when they came out with the anti-sniffable glue.
Bummer, man.
Damn, models fell apart overnight. They wouldn't even dry.
No, God. And it stunk.
You mentioned that, Joe. I remember when Testers came out with a lemon scented model glue.
And John Pica goes, "That's one fat chihuahua." Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
She's a porker.
And she's on a diet.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's on a seafood diet.
That's
If
the
Joe
real.
shows her some food, she'll eat it.
That's the real Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yo quiero Taco Bell, eh?
Eat a lizard.
And she's when I got home, she was mad.
I
At me.
love that campaign.
When I got home, she was so mad at me. She wouldn't let me even come. I mean, she wouldn't even come around me. She just avoided me until I came in here and sat down. Now she wants in my lap.
Well, she hears you talking. She thinks you're talking to her.
Yeah. Oh, and you're talking about the Taco Bell dog. When Yum Foods bought Taco Bell from PepsiCo, they first thing they did is they went in and fired the advertising agency that had the Taco Bell dog. The ad agency was very smart. They owned the rights to the dog. It wasn't the Taco Bell dog.
It was the ad agency.
It was the Taco Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Is how they licensed him. That's the same ad agency that created the Geico Lizard.
Hmm.
Do you remember when they
Not a lizard, it's a gecko.
the gecko, whatever. I still call it
Here,
the
lizard.
Well, when they
That was
they
Taco
did
Bell dog.
once they got everything settled in court, the next commercial that they made was the auditions for the Geico spokesman.
And one
And
of the spokesperson was the dog.
And the dog came out and goes, "Oh, a gecko." And no, the dog. Let's see, the gecko comes out and says, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And the Taco Bell dog turns and looks at him and goes, "Oh, great, a talking lizard." Because he's trying to get a job. Lily. Oh, dear God, Lily. You damn bitch. Ah, damn it.
Takes after daddy, huh?
Whew.
Well, I told you it was a Taco Bell dog.
Potent, huh?
Yeah. What is a Ratchie, John? I'm sorry. John Pica. John Pica.
Right back.
I think it's a Pokemon.
Oh, okay. So
Getting dizzy. What
Do
changed
what?
the screen?
they're dropping like flies on us, Lewis. It's just me and you.
And you
Quick.
you and I are the two most tired.
Quick, let's end the show.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
I second. Call it for a vote. Motion
Shut her
passes.
down.
Motion passes. All right. Good night, everybody. When they come back, let's do that. Oh,
We took it to a vote. Sorry. They'll say we didn't have a quorum.
no, we had a quorum. We're public.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Hoy.
And Heather's says good night. Good night,
Oh.
Heather.
Good night, Heather. We miss you.
Yeah, we do miss you. Oh, either Monday or Tuesday, SN15 will fly.
Monday or Tuesday.
Depending on weather.
Now they keep saying that Resilience is going to land before dawn. Have they narrowed it down any further?
Well, NASA said just after the show started that they hit their burn, they will be in the water in 4 hours.
I
we're
will be in
looking
bed in 4 hours.
We're looking somewhere around 2:30.
Okay.
I will be in there with YouTube pulled up so I can watch it. Maybe.
You'll crash. You're going to crash. I can see it in your eyes. You're too tired.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Well, there's Heather. Hey, Heather.
Heather.
Everybody's about to.
She's already said good night. Oh, she's back. You didn't leave it up long enough.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now I got to minimize. Oh, there you go.
He's terrible at this.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, we're going to jump in real quick, cover the flight, and then.
All right. Well, everybody else is bailing and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and go too.
Yeah. Bless you, Lewis.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I
Hey,
do have to.
now-
I do have
now-
to be up tomorrow. So what?
Okay.
I have to be up Monday.
What?
I have to be.
No,
up
Joe, you
Monday.
were saying you needed my attention for something. What?
No. I said, I was saying, bless you to Lewis. Being polite. I mean, that's a lot better than yelling at him, "Demon, be gone," which is pretty much the same thing.
I don't know. I kind of like the demon be gone thing.
I don't know
No,
if
that's
you
what that's
Demon
what you
be
say on the
gone!
third sneeze. Well, I guess he's gone.
I
I do
used to
that?
sneeze 3 times every time, and I'm not the only one. My brothers, the same thing. We had a saying: "Lees sneeze in threes."
I didn't do it.
You can't do that.
Can't do what?
Can't do what?
If you say it enough times, it happens.
Oh,
What?
demon be gone.
You have to stop.
Beetlejuice.
That doesn't work. That's from.
Ooh, hey, Blake.
Guinness beer.
This is reality, John.
Oh.
Anyway, no, for real though, I am gonna go ahead and jump out of here.
All right. Cool.
I need to get some sleep anyway, and I'm kind of bored, so I'm gonna.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're just not entertaining enough.
We're just. I think between Joe needing to go to bed anyway, and he's fading. Lewis, you seem pretty tired as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I got up at 3 o'clock yesterday morning, and
I know Dan
still haven't caught up.
He's talking about going, and
I'm not going anywhere. I'm still wired from the green room last night, but I'm not playing any video games. Sorry.
Wait, what did I do?
Skunk just. Oh, you missed it. We called the vote to end the show early.
Yeah, when it was just Joe and me on screen.
I brought it up.
Well,
I was in the toilet, so that was the thing that got me talking about. Is I come back and there's only like 2 guys there, and I'm like, I guess everybody's done now. I guess I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Well, now I know what night of the week to put my StreamYard show on.
What night?
Whenever you go to bed.
That'll work.
Yeah, about 6 p.m. till, I don't know, noon 30.
Well,
What's your show going to be about, Dan? Give us the pitch.
Yeah.
I don't have one. That's why I don't have a damn show.
Make it up. That's what I
Make
just
something
meant.
up.
Come on, give us a pitch. What do you want to do a show on?
You're an author. You're an
I
author.
want to do one. I don't want to do one, but I have so much fun doing this. If it ends early, I'm going, why did I bother to get out of bed? You guys are so much fun. I have so much fun with you, but I understand your day jobs and your lives demand a whole lot more of you than I have any right to ask for extra.
Hey, and conventions are coming back. Did I say I went to a great convention today here in Chattanooga?
I believe you
called
did.
Metropolis
Talk
Con?
about it.
Only about 47 times in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what? It's gotten to the point that you can see my camera's even freaking out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go.
All right.
I tell you what, part of it is that I'm in a mood because the computer fucked up on me. So I just happy times. Bye.
Good night, Skunk.
See you
Love
Thursday.
you.
See ya. Demon Big.
Demon be gone. Demon be gone. Demon be
No,
gone.
It worked.
Oh.
Okay, so
I need your money, folks,
that
because
behind
God
you,
needs
John?
a satellite.
What's that behind you? It's a pirate spaceship, obviously.
That is the Arcadia from the Captain Harlock series.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Space
Yeah,
Pirate Captain Harlock.
I thought it sounded like or looked like Captain Harlock, but I couldn't be sure because I haven't watched that in decades.
I used to love Captain. That was it. What was it My Life in Arcadia and Galaxy 999 and
Mm-hmm.
good stuff. Of course, you had to have a really good UHF antenna to get that stuff. Hey, don't make me pull out I had to climb a 40-foot tower to reposition the antenna so we could watch Doctor Who story. Okay.
That must have been while you were enlisted.
No. That was when I was about 8 or 10. I can't remember, somewhere in that.
Your parents had a 40-foot tall TV antenna.
Yeah, where we live in Tennessee, because the mountains, there are certain areas where you live, you have to have that 40-foot mast.
Yeah.
And the antenna on top of ours had a hand crank that you could aim the antenna to pick up certain stations. Well, it worked fine for picking up some of the local stations, but like Georgia Public Television, Channel 45, which was the local PBS, and then you had Channel 61, which was also a local PBS, but had slightly different programming. And then Channel 18, that was the hard one to get.
Yeah, that's
GPB.
Yeah, that was Georgia Public Television.
Yeah.
We had to aim the antenna down this little narrow valley up here in Tennessee to get Georgia Public Television. And that's where Doctor Who was.
Ah, okay.
So we're sitting there one day, and it just so happened to be we had a storm come in, and something jammed the antenna, so it wouldn't rotate. You couldn't rotate. We sat there. Dad was an electrician. He knew all this stuff. So he was moving this handle and trying to get it unlocked. It just jammed up. He says, what we thought happened is maybe a piece of wire or part of the antenna cable had gotten caught in the thing.
In the gears.
And here's this thunderstorm comes rolling in. And you can see lightning up on the mountains and stuff. He's like, I guess we can't watch Doctor Who. I said, give me a minute. I yanked off my shoes and climbed this 40-foot mast, and I'm up there trying to wiggle the thing loose. There was a flipping stick that the storm had blown something off of the roof into this 40-foot, into the locking mechanism, whatever. Gear. I don't know. It's really, I guess it was gears, but it might have been a U-joint. Who knows? But and I finally managed to break it loose, and I reached out and pulled it out, and we got the antenna. It's like there's lightning striking all around me, and here I am, little 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid, can't wait, on top of a 40-foot mast and no lightning.
The original Action Johnny.
Well, I always kept the U-clamps just a little loose on mine so that I could just stand on the ground and turn the mast. Turn the antenna with it.
That was my job as a kid.
I
had to go out and fine-tune the antenna direction between NBC and CBS because ABC hadn't been invented yet.
Well, you guys really had it rough. I had to stand there and hold the damn antenna next to the TV.
Hey.
Raise your other arm. Okay, lift
had to
your
hold
left
the rabbit
leg.
ears in one hand and the tinfoil in the other.
You didn't have to, Joe Dog.
Run down to the stop and go and get a roll of aluminum foil. Yes, I remember those days too.
I mean, our antennas did have aluminum foil wings.
Yep.
That's what I said.
It
Heather
looked like
said
the old signal. Looked like the old signal corps. Two flags wave.
Now, believe it or not, there was one house we lived in. I can't remember if it was Tennessee or if it was when we first moved to Georgia. My mother hung up the power cord for the electric percolator and wired it to the TV. And we got like 15 channels. It's just a drop cord.
When I was stationed in Berlin, the PX had this sale on this really nice little Toshiba television, and it was real nice because it was a 220 or 110 volt, and it could pick up everything. I mean, just any. You could pick up Russian TV, German, Asian.
So it was PAL and NTSC?
Had everything. You could go through all of them. And they're real nice. The only problem was they didn't come with antennas. They were pretty much designed for cable TV.
Oh, okay.
but it had this, you remember the little box you had that you plugged in the back and your antenna? It
Like
came
for
with one of
the
those.
old school video games.
Right. Well, something like it. Well, no, it was simpler than that. It didn't have the switch.
Oh.
It was
Yeah,
a little
I
box.
remember.
It went over the cable, where the cable TV normally would, the coax cable would normally go in. It just flipped over that, and then it had like the two and
The two
the
prongs.
antenna leads for hooking into an antenna.
Yeah.
Didn't come with antenna; it just came with that little box. And I was like, "Well, I'm going to ask Lewis. I don't know if Lewis, being in the Navy, would know this. If you went and sent clothing out to get it laundered and pressed on base? I don't think a ship would do this. Do you remember the military coat hangers? They were over wire hanger. The ones we have.
Nothing I ever had laundered on board ship came back in a coat hanger.
Yeah, this would have been on base, but it had the little rubber vinyl bottom piece for where they hang the pants, so the pants wouldn't slip off.
Okay,
and that was your standard military. I don't know I know the Marine Corps had it. I figured the Navy might have had it too.
Yeah,
but if you went to a military dry cleaners, that was the hanger you got.
Okay,
and it was an aluminum hanger, I think. Soft. It's some sort of soft alloy, but I started taking those and making the big round UHF antennas out of them and hooking them to those little antenna boxes. And we would hang them on the wall behind the TV, and we'd get all the German stations. And a friend of mine came in, saw that, and was like, "Can you make me one of those?" I said, "Sure." I said, "You know that little box that goes in the back?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Bring me that." He brings me that. I already had the wire bent and cut to the right length and everything, and hooked him up with one, and just hooked it to those little the U-hooks. He goes back. He showed a bunch of buddies down at his platoon. I had an industry going.
Pirate TV antennas.
It got to the point where I had to tell people, "Bring me a coat hanger." It's I'm out of coat hangers. Bring me a coat hanger.
I don't have any more clothes that need to be dry cleaned.
Well, do y'all remember when they first came out with cable TV? It had that little thing you screwed the cable on and had the two little wires you put where your antennas go?
Yeah.
And they told you, don't hook up your rabbit ears to this.
Right.
I found out why.
Why?
Because if you had another TV in the next room close to that antenna, you would pick up the cable on the lower channels.
Oh.
Without having a cable hooked to it.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't the best clean, crisp picture like the cable, but I could get to watch TBS and Channel 46 and WDSI. You remember when they were called WDSI, don't you?
Yes.
Do you remember when they were called WRIP? That's what 61 signed on with, is WRIP. But yeah, I mean, I had all those. But that's why they didn't want you to hook the antenna up, because you could shoot cable through the house.
Well, if it was able to go from the end of the cable through the rabbit ears, through the air to the next room, they had a strong signal, because normally you get that cable, and if you get the center lead in the TV, you'll start seeing a picture, but not until they keep that power on the cable pretty tight.
Yeah, well, this was before people learned how to steal cable.
Yeah.
So it was a primitive form of Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
And it worked best on whatever TV channel the other TV was on. That channel would come in the best.
I
don't know why. I don't understand that stuff. I just knew how to cheat.
Sympathetic magic. Somebody had sympathy on you, so they made it magic.
And I used to watch Scrambled HBO.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember watching Scrambled Playboy Channel.
Oh, wow. I can almost see a nipple. Oh, God.
Yeah. Lewis, I'm going to ask
Yeah.
you a quick Navy question here, if you don't mind
All right.
playing along for a moment. I just happened to be looking. I was Googling something in Washington, D.C., and I found this picture.
Hmm.
Now, that's an older destroyer. You can tell by the turrets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait,
And
there it is.
hull number.
933.
Yeah.
This is in Washington, D.C. This is posted on the Potomac.
This
near
is
the
like current?
Washington Navy Yard.
Okay.
Okay. And I didn't know they had any ship stock there, actually.
I didn't either.
And it seemed kind of odd because that isn't, that's some big bridge, or that's some bridges you got to get that destroyer.
Yeah, that's
That has to be a museum
that is
ship.
definitely. It's not Fletcher class, but it's very
it's older
close.
than that.
I mean, it must be a museum or something because you can see the tent set up on the back. It looks like it's permanently
USS
moored.
Barry.
What?
You sure? You
is
sure
a
it isn't the Eldridge?
Nope, it says Ferry. Barry.
It reappeared.
Yeah, Lewis knows what I'm talking about. You don't
Oh
get it.
yeah, the Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah, it was that is a Forrest Sherman class destroyer.
Okay, so that was right after the Fletcher class.
Well, it served during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Uh-huh.
And it's now
Yeah, that would be Fletcher class was World War II.
Right.
So yeah, the Forrest Sherman. I actually had a model of the Forrest Sherman class.
I think the bridges were built after the ship got there.
No, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, it's got to be a museum.
I'm reading it right now.
Why the tent on the back?
Well, any ship could put a tent on the back. Matter of fact, that was quite common.
Is that where Jethro Gibbs' office is, just off to the right?
No, he's over in Norfolk. They're not in.
Joe, a former newsman from Chattanooga is now the public affairs officer for all of NCIS.
Who?
Ed Bice.
Okay, that's where Ed went.
He's
Last
at
I heard, he
NCIS.
was, working for Hamilton County and retired. So I didn't know.
No. He moved to DC and he's he's the head PR guy for all of NCIS.
Wow.
Not the show, the real
guys.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes. You rang.
She's a museum ship, but the number of visitors to the destroyer Barry began to decline after 1990, and by 2015 it dwindled to about 10,000 people a year. Although Barry's hull remained seaworthy, it began to deteriorate, and she was required about $2 million in repairs and renovations, an amount the U.S. Navy deemed unaffordable, and given the low average numbers, plans to replace the existing bridge. For all these reasons, the U.S. Navy decided to close the DS Barry and tow her away for scrapping before construction of a new bridge.
So while the old bridge was down, they took it out?
Yeah, and had her mast cut down. There she was to be sold, mothballed and sold for scrapping.
I could use one of those on Lake Nair for going fishing. Couple of depth charges, I could get a good evening meal.
So apparently it's a museum ship they're getting rid of. Sorry.
Oh.
That is really, really sad news.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to.
Something that beautiful should have been maintained.
The imagery is from 2020. So apparently this image from 2021, she's still there.
Oh, Which reminded me, boat that's been in dock. Guess what I saw floating up and down the Tennessee River yesterday?
What?
The Southern Belle.
Oh, yeah?
So I guess they're getting ready to reopen.
Well, did you see that they found the USS Chattanooga?
Yeah.
Possibly.
They're 90% sure.
Now, wait a minute. Joe, is that the pedal wheeler?
No, we don't have
No.
a paddle wheeler
Southern
anymore.
Belle.
We don't-
Well,
Whatever happened to
Southern Belle's a paddle wheeler.
No, she
No.
isn't. No, she's regular propeller driven.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. You're thinking, what was that what was the paddle wheeler we had?
The Delta
Well, we
Queen.
had the Delta Queen.
Delta Queen.
Okay.
What happened to her?
She's down in Louisiana, just finishing up a refit to make her seaworthy again, and then they're going to put her on the Mississippi to do tours.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
The problem is wooden hulled and wooden framed ships are no longer legal, I guess the best way to put it.
Right? They're not legal to carry passengers overnight.
And it literally takes an act of Congress to get them certified. It has to go before Congress, literally.
Right.
And we had her here in Chattanooga, and apparently you can't even have her as a floating hotel because she's wooden structure.
Yeah.
Why they couldn't put a steel hull over the damn thing and reinforce it with steel, I don't know. But
Well, I think that's what they eventually did.
Somebody would have to buy some stuff.
But yeah, they've
you seen the price of lumber lately? Steel might be a lot cheaper.
Hey,
um
adamantium would be cheaper.
they actually it got some type of waiver, and the waiver has been made something semi-permanent for the Delta Queen because of the historical whatever with it, and it comes up every 20 years instead of every 10.
Well, the Delta Queen was used in World War II to transport troops.
Yeah.
So that's her history.
I thought that was a newer version, but
Nope. The Delta Queen and her sister or brother, the Delta King, were both used on the West Coast between San Francisco and LA, I believe. Yeah, to transport troops during World War II.
In the open ocean on a paddle wheeler.
Yeah, and this thing is made for flat water.
Would they bring them back through the Panama Canal to get them over here?
Yeah, they brought her through the canal.
Can you imagine? That'd be a picture. I got to see if I can find that picture. That'd be awesome.
Well, you know they ain't going to take them around the Cape.
Well, what they did was they pulled the paddle wheel off of her, plywooded up all around it, and towed it, ran it like a barge.
That sort of ship deserves better.
Yeah. And when she left Chattanooga, they opened the Market Street Bridge for it to go under.
Yeah.
It could go under the Market Street Bridge without it being open. But when it left, they opened the Market Street Bridge.
Don't
So
they
it's
have
for
to
the-
drop? Wait a minute.
just
Don't
for
they
the
have to drop
ceremony.
the stacks to get it underneath a bridge?
Yeah, they would have. They'd already had
They
the
could
stacks
have.
dropped. And it was under tow. They didn't drive it. It was under tow. But they actually raised the Market Street Bridge to give it a salute as it left.
Just for the ceremony.
Yep.
Do you know why bridges have to be the height they are or be a drawbridge? Goes back to World War II, or somewhere between World War I and World War II. They have to be a certain height so that the U.S. Navy can get gunboats underneath them.
If they had to.
When's the last time you saw a gunboat on the Tennessee River? Jeez, you know,
Well, this is as far up as they
When
could
was the last
come.
time Craig Joel took his boat out.
About the same
Yo,
time.
you know
I
Craig Joel, right?
Unfortunately,
B-52
they
land
had an
on a
accident.
highway in Tennessee or Georgia.
They had an accident and all those AR-15s fell overboard. Oh.
AR-15s might. Never mind. Let's not talk about that on the. They didn't call him long shot for nothing.
Mm. Yeah, that reminds me, I need to sharpen my post hole diggers.
John, remember we were talking about the no nuclear at conventions? No
No.
nuclear
So-
labeling.
Yes, I think I remember. Yes, you're not allowed to have nuclear devices at convention.
You know, he was involved with that.
I wondered why I've been barred from so many conventions.
Oh, what'd you do, John? Uh-oh.
I know. I think
We talked
I-
about pew pew, and there goes John.
What? Why
Oh.
does everybody think I'm reaching for a gun? Guns over here.
we were talking about nuclear weapons. We didn't think you were looking for a gun.
Darn it.
More of a little football thing.
The pocket guide doesn't have the rules on it.
What?
Oh man, it's disappearing ink and paper.
Wait a minute, let's see how disappearing it is. Just out of curiosity.
Cool.
It's annoying. It's what it is when you're trying to read something and
No
all of a
doubt.
sudden.
Lewis, since you're the video media guy, would that be this green screen is pretty much what they call chroma key?
Yeah.
And all the
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I didn't know if it was the same technology or
Yeah, I mean, they say green screen because most people use that hideous shade of green because they figure who in their right mind is going to be wearing clothing with that color green. So,
Queen Elizabeth.
But the technology is called chroma key, where you can actually tell the computer any color
To ignore.
Yeah, I mean,
That
you could
used
have
to be-
yellow back there, and it would key it out. But
For some reason, it used to be blue. I'm not sure why, but they switched to green.
no, well, I mean, they use blue and green alternately.
Yeah.
Imagine if you have
Um,
if you're outdoors, like bright sunny day in a green field, green tree leaves and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you'd have to use blue.
right.
But you don't
Motion
see that.
picture industry typically uses blue. It keys out a lot cleaner. The green, that lime green that most people use for video effects, leaves it bleeds into the image. It leaves kind of a shiny shadow, and so it's a little bit harder to clean up. The blue is a lot easier to clean up in the computer. Is that the
Why
probe from
have
the
you got
whale?
my boat back there?
Do what?
Why have you got my boat back there?
Your boat?
Yeah.
That's not your boat. That's a piece of
That's
junk.
my boat.
That's a piece. What a piece of junk.
what a piece of junk.
It doesn't matter. I built it myself.
What a piece of junk.
I made a lot of modifications.
I'm getting my ship back over my dead body.
Oh God, I have loved that thing since
1977.
since the movie Tommy premiered and the first ever previews were shown in the theater.
It finally hit me that it was the Millennium Falcon. I'm not used to seeing it from dead front still.
And his head's in the way, and you can't see the gap where the
Yeah.
escape,
There you
escape
go.
pod was jettisoned.
Yeah.
That's where it tows the trailers, or pushes the trailers.
Pushes
excuse me.
the tug pods. Yeah. But how it's? I'm trying to find a picture of it.
It's the 6-barrel carburetor that really makes it move. You ever looked at the top of the thing? Tell me
Yeah.
that ain't a 6-barrel carburetor.
I was at Harbor Freight the other day, and the guy in front of me was talking to the guy next to him about a car that he's restoring, and it was a 72 Grand Prix. And I'm like, my ears pricked up because I used to have a 72 Grand Prix. And I asked him, I said, you got the 404 barrel? He says, no, 467. 467. I never even heard of that.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's a
So
package right there.
A
Yeah.
467 is an LS engine, the new high-tech engine,
oh, okay.
multi-port fuel injection.
Oh, give me a 4-barrel Holly on top of a 400 cubic inch GM long block.
Oh, the things they're doing with those engines now. They run E85 and can get 1,000 horsepower out of them
Holy crap.
just by playing with the computer.
Well, I know that 72 Grand Prix would get me from one gas station to the next.
Yeah, that was my Super Sport Chevelle.
Just barely.
Just barely.
What was the joke about it'll pass in everything except a gas station?
Yep.
Passed everything on the road except the gas station.
I'm telling you, man, that 72 Grand Prix I had ran like a scald dog.
Look, Dan won't know where it is, but John and Lewis will. I was coming up Ashland Terrace
Yep.
into Chattanooga. It started sputtering on me. And I said, oh, just get me to the top of the hill. And I floored it, just to get everything out. It topped the hill. I coasted into the Exxon at Hickson Pike and Access Road. It died at the top of the hill.
Oh, man.
I kept saying, God, please let the lights be green. Let the lights be green. Let the lights be green. That's nearly a mile and a half.
Wow.
Downhill.
Yeah, downhill.
Both ways.
With the wind behind you.
Hey, we're talking about Joe Dog. The wind is always behind him.
Yeah. Those jet
And
hope
and
models
it-
aren't as attractive as they
It's a
used to be.
foul wind that blows.
Yep. Holy crap.
All you need is one
Yeah,
of those
it's that time.
long little lighter ones. And
Yeah.
Where is that originally from, by the way?
I think Skunk said it's like Robot Chicken or something like that.
It's some
Oh.
show. It's some cartoon show where they have a sock puppet as one of the characters. And
Oh, okay.
if you look closely, the sock puppet's like dressed like Laugh-In, Goldie Hawn doing that sort of thing.
Okay.
It was patterned off of Laugh-In, but Laugh-In didn't do that exact same thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They had something remotely similar.
Yeah. Sock it to me.
Yeah, that was Judy.
Sock
Carter.
it
She just had a
to
birthday.
me.
She just had a birthday here recently. Yes, and I remember. Richard Nixon doing that one. Yes, indeed.
Talk it to me.
Well, did you know Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell's kid was designated the new Captain America in the Falcon and Winter Soldier? That was,
Hudson?
yeah,
Huh.
that was,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, the kid's been trained to act since he was born.
yeah. Wyatt Russell is Kurt Russell's and
Oh,
Goldie Hawn's kid.
okay.
And the thing is, he used to play hockey for the Huntsville College.
There you go.
Yep.
This is not the one I was looking for, but this is pretty cool too. This is a picture of the Millennium Falcon as a YT 1300 freighter pushing pushing these pods, and you can see where the pods lock in on the freighter.
Hmm. That's why the cockpit is off to the side, so you can see how to steer the damn thing.
And the radar's on the other side, so they can see what's on the other side of the ship, or the
Mhm.
cargo pods.
Now, why is the yellow and labeled liverwurst? Does anybody, even in another galaxy, buy that crap?
I love liverwurst.
I like liverwurst.
Yeah, but
I
you're
also
both
like
big
hogshead
smokers.
cheese.
What cheese?
Hogshead cheese. Some people just call it head cheese.
Big brains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not the brains.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
Chris
is.
Walker posted a few minutes ago. He said, Saw a comparison for lumber for a deck from 3 years ago to now. It's almost $3,000 more.
No, that was last year, April 2020 to this year, April, and there was a difference of $3,000. It was $900 and something for a 200 square foot deck.
I posted that on Stupid O'Clock, by the way.
Yeah. I was wondering. Yeah.
Did you hear about what is that? It's out on Lakeshore Drive, the bar that has the grill, and they were out on the deck, and they were having a birthday party, and the deck collapsed with like 40 people on it.
Yeah.
And it basically it did about $500,000 worth of damage in lumber.
What, 2 boards broke?
But no, it's a bunch of people got hurt. I don't know.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
40 people.
Today.
Oh,
Well,
crap.
Well, there were 2 in critical condition.
Yeah.
Hey, deck collapses ain't.
especially if 40 people crammed on it. I mean, that's
Well, there was one out off Brainerd Road that collapsed.
Hmm.
One of those bars just right through the tunnel. They finally, they couldn't find a way to shut the business down because, all so much trouble. So when the deck collapsed, they used unsafe. The building was condemned. That's how they shut them down.
You talking about governors?
No, not governors.
Oh.
Go through Brainerd, right through the tunnels before you make it to the first red light, or you make it to South Seminole. That building right there. At South Seminole.
So right near where
Comedy Catch used
to be. Okay.
Actually, up on the high side of that block.
Okay.
Same side.
Now,
it was Harbor Lights Marina. The deck collapsed.
I thought Harbor Lights was up Saudi Daisy.
No, it is Saudi Daisy.
Yeah, Hicks and Pike. Where'd I say?
Lakeshore.
Well, somewhere in there.
Yeah, Lakeshore's right here at the dam. Oh, I got so much trouble at work one time. No, I mean,
you get in trouble at work? I don't believe it.
I mean, called on the carpet.
Be patient, Dan.
They asked me where my location was, and I was on 153 crossing the dam. I said, I'm up here on the dam bridge. I'm on my way.
But okay, Dan, you were saying?
I understand that Aretha Frankenstein's has been closed.
Yes.
What are any prospective plans for that building?
To reopen after all the restrictions lift, as the same thing.
Oh, okay. Damn, that means Sean's going to keep on trying to get me to go someplace to wait 6 hours for a hamburger.
All I got to say is you got to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Actually, you need to get there about 6:45.
Like 2 days before you actually intend to eat?
No, you can get there. Of course, Saturday and Sunday mornings are the worst, are their busiest days.
You know how LibertyCon has their pancake breakfast on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
And like they'll get a lot of the authors.
Oh,
to come out.
hey, guys, it's time to say goodnight, everybody. And we're not going to do the after show because me and Lewis want to go to bed. So as we close it out, we're going to say my same famous lines. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed, and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled, and soared, and swung, high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along, and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.